back. And then he mentioned some things about the da'wah of Isa ibn Maryam and his life. And then Allah Ta'ala mentioned about the Quran, and that he made the Quran muhaymin. He made the Quran supersede. He made the Quran overpower all of the other books that went before it. And then Allah Ta'ala mentioned, and this is the shahid and the point, لِكُلٍّ جَعَلْنَا مِنْكُمْ شِرْعَةً وَمِنْهَاجًا. We made for all of you people a sharia and a minhaj. Pay attention, Ahlul Hadith. We made for the Jews and the Christians a sharia, and we made for you people a sharia. We made for the Jews and the Christians a minhaj, and we made for you a minhaj. Our sharia is not their sharia, and their sharia is not our sharia, except if our sharia say, yeah, this is okay. There's some things from our sharia that allows us to do from what they did. But a lot of what they do is not our sharia. The Christians, they drink khamr. They eat pork. That's their sharia. No Muslim in his right mind is going to say it's okay to drink khamr. That's our sharia because the Yahud or the Nasara do it. No Muslim has a problem with getting his head around that. The problem comes with the second issue. We made for all of you a sharia and a minhaj. A minhaj, ikhwani, is a methodology. You have to have a methodology. Everything in Islam has a methodology. What's the methodology in dealing with someone who's in a position of leadership? The non-Muslims, if someone is in a position of leadership, they do whatever they want to do. Whatever they want to do to show that they're upset, to show that they're disappointed, to show that they're not happy with what's going on. One of the people in position of leadership is the father. Many of us are fathers. In the non-Muslim way of life, the Christians, one of them becomes upset with the parent, so they do what? They pull out their gun, they go to the parent's house, they shoot the mother, the father, the auntie, 7 other relatives, like what happened recently in America. That's their minhaj. Wants to show that he's upset, disappointed about something. That's not the minhaj of al-Islam. Your father, the imam, the khalifa, the one in a position of leadership with the Muslims, we have to deal with them a certain way. Minhaj. The ibadat of al-Islam are the same way. When you worship in al-Islam, there's a minhaj. Non-Muslims, they do whatever they want. Just go to the black church in America. I don't know about here in the UK. Just go to any African-American church and see how they worship Allah. That's their minhaj in ibadah. The difference between them and some Muslims, especially during the so-called birth of the Prophet ﷺ recently, there's no difference. We have a minhaj, a method of doing ibadah. And that method is established by the Prophet of Islam, sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam. So the point, ikhwani, is everything there has in a deen has a minhaj. You want to be a student of knowledge? You have to develop a minhaj. If you don't develop a minhaj, your knowledge should be like Swiss cheese with holes in it. You buy this book over here, you read the introduction, the first chapter, you put it down. You go outside, you see another book, you buy that book, you read half of the book, you put it down. You get another book, you take that book, you read a third of the book, you put it down. You have to have a minhaj. Start with the Quran, memorizing it, learning how to read it, starting with the Arabic language, starting with the simple books of hadith, and so forth and so on. All your knowledge will be like Swiss cheese. The point here is everything has a minhaj in our deen. So what's the minhaj of al-Islam in dealing with the fitan, trials and tribulations? There's a minhaj. And our minhaj is different from the non-Muslims. They don't have a minhaj. So we don't want to be like them. As Allah described their reality when it refers to fitan, He tabarak wa ta'ala mentioned about them in the Quran in a number of ayat. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ عَلَى حَرْفٍ وَإِنْ أَصَابَهُ خَيْرٌ اطْمَأَنَّ بِهِ وَإِنْ أَصَابَتْهُ فِتْنَةٌ انْقَلَبَ عَلَى وَجْهِهِ. From the people are those people who worship Allah just based on speculation. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know why they're doing it. They worship Allah ala harf. He doesn't know why. I saw the people doing it, so I did it. That's how the mushrikun are. But some Muslims are like that. And that's why we're saying, ikhwan, and I don't want to regress or digress. But we're tired of the cultural Islam. The masjid that's not talking to the reality of the people. If your masjid has all Arabs in it, give the khutbah in Arabic. If your masjid has all Somalians in it, give the khutbah in Somalian language. As for the shabab who are growing up in masjids and we speak English, we're living in this country, then it's the responsibility of people in positions of authority, Ahlul Hadith, our masjids. We have to connect to these people in our reality, not that cultural Islam. Why are you doing that? I don't know. My father did it. That's why. I don't know. Can't worship Allah on a harf just like that. You don't know what you're doing. You have to worship Allah with yaqeen and basira. قُلْ هَذِهِ سَبِيلِي أَدْعُو إِلَى اللَّهِ أَنَا وَمِنِ اتَّبَعَنِي أَدْعُو إِلَى اللَّهِ عَلَى بَصِيرَةٍ أَنَا وَمِنِ اتَّبَعَنِي. Tell them, Ya Muhammad, this is my way. It's the way of the people of the Sunnah. I call to Allah with knowledge. Me and those people who follow him. So the point here, Ikhwani, the ayah said there are some people who worship Allah and they don't know what they're doing. If good hits them, they are happy with it. But if a fitna comes to them, they turn back on their heels. They turn back on their face. As long as good is coming to him, he's making money, he's okay. As soon as he loses his job, he says, woe is me. Why me? Why did Allah do this to me? He starts to blame people. He starts to blame himself in terms of why didn't he do this one? Why didn't he do that one? The Muslim has a minhaj when it comes to the fitna. So before we talk about those issues in the last 15 minutes, inshallah ta'ala, another very important point that I want to share with you is that there are two types of fitna in the deen. In the Quran and the Sunnah, there are two types of fitna that we have to deal with. One fitna is the general fitna, and the other fitna is the specific fitna. The general fitna are those fitnas that we suffer from as a nation. All of the other nations came together to eat against us. All of them, wherever you go. That's a general fitna that's afflicting and affecting all of the Muslims. General. The general fitna of your family. There are different individuals, afrad, numerous people in your family. That fitna is affecting all of you people. Someone dies from your family, that fitna is affecting quite a few people from your family. So that's the general fitna. And then we have the specific fitna that befalls each and every one of us. Something that I'm dealing with that you're not dealing with. Something that you're dealing with that I'm not dealing with. Whatever the case is, there's a minhaj of dealing with the fitin, general or specific. How do we know general fitna, specific fitna? Allah Ta'ala mentioned in the Quran and commanded, وَاتَّقُوا فِتْنَةً لَا تُصِيبَنَّ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا مِنْكُمْ خَاصَّةً وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّ اللَّهَ شَدِيدُ الْعِقَابِ. Let those beware, let the people beware that the fitna may not hit specifically those people who are responsible for it. And know that Allah is very severe in taking his retribution and in punishing. So some people can do certain things in the ummah, they did it, but the end result of that, it can hit a lot of people. It can be, the result of that can hit a lot of people. So there's general fitna and there's specific fitna. What's the minhaj of al-Islam in regards to the fitna that we're dealing with? Whether it's general or specific, there are many things that we can mention. But the one thing we want to mention at the top of the list, you have a fitna, you're dealing with a fitna, especially the general fitna that touches the population, touching community safety and concern. Multiple people are involved with it and in it, your family, your specific community. First thing that we want to talk about is the importance of the role of the people of knowledge in this religion and in regard to the fitna. This masjid, Mecca masjid, whatever masjid you brothers came from in your respective